Hi guys, welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Entrepreneur. I'm your host Hamza Chowdhury, and welcome to today's daily stock recap. It is Monday, March 8th, and boy was it another bloody day in the markets. So you can see here on my TradingView chart, the S&P was down here about 0.38%. The Dow Jones was surprisingly up 364 points. And keep in mind, guys, that Dow Jones follows large cap stocks like Boeing and whatnot. And the NASDAQ, this is where we're seeing a lot of the tech stocks hurt, down 350 points. And, it's just a mixed day. We've seen this a lot where the market seems to want to have some legs in the morning. Maybe there's a brief morning opening sort of sell off, and then it sort of gets some legs. And then we start to see the weakness sort of show up, and it disguises itself. And a lot of people probably get stuck, right? That's what the algos do, is you're like, oh, well, today's the day. I see the bottom. The bottom has been formed. And then it starts to run. And so what you start to see is a lot of people, essentially trying to find that bottom. And so yesterday in our Sunday video, we talked about not trying to be that person finding the bottom. Okay, we were talking about finding the right candle on the daily to really look at to see if the trend is reversing and if we're starting to make higher highs and higher lows. And we talked about the bullish sort of engulfing candle as one of the signs to indicate a trend reversal. And we all know that everything at this point is essentially oversold. All right, a lot of these stocks have gone 30, 40, 50% down, and we're all trying to find when's that time. And so this week the stimulus is expected to pass the House. That's obviously going to be a great catalyst for the market in general, but a lot of these stocks in the NASDAQ and the S&P and overall, I mean, they're just completely getting beaten down. And it's really interesting because I had talked about last week about GameStop hitting back to 215. I could see that there was a gap fill there. And today we got that. And so it's just interesting that you see the manipulation in the market when you see stocks like GameStop, AMC, a lot of these kind of open stocks go up. And, GameStop had some good news. They're talking about just becoming sort of an e-commerce type of, platform as opposed to having these physical stores, which obviously means they're going to reduce a lot of their debt. And so in today's video, guys, we're just going to go over the stocks we cover on the channel. So that'll be Apple, Tesla, Palantir, Clover Health, and I'm actually going to talk about AMC as well today. And again, guys, if you have any questions or comments, post them below. I do respond to all the comments. And so one of the things that we've been saying is our best support for many months now is 117.80. Apple's been bouncing off the support, going all the way back here in October and even previously. And one of the things I mentioned was if you were to buy off of this level, which, I personally didn't trade Apple today or even on Friday. But one of the things that I mentioned was you would be risking right down here where the 200-day and the anchored VWAP meet, which is more or less, let's just say you call it 114. And you can see exactly how this played. So we had the bounce, we had the sort of bounce and sell off in the morning. And then look where the pivot was, right? Intraday was around this level. Okay, so we bounced off of it. We finally failed. And then look what we tested. Look where this wick came in, right at what? The 117.80. And so that area that was strong support is clearly now going to act as resistance. And I can see that bouncing tomorrow as well. We may potentially get up here, right, to 118 and test some of these highs. But definitely if 117.80 fails, which it did today, it's going to continue to act as resistance. And so in play here, if I'm going Apple long, this is where I'm looking to make my entry. Now, again, guys, this is purely for entertainment and educational purposes only, so please do manage your own risk. But guys, with the RSI, Apple rarely trades, right, with the RSI being oversold. But most importantly, look at where you're trading. You're trading $145 stock down at 113. It's lowest since, they're saying over 3 to 4 months now. And so 113 to 114 is where I would personally be buying shares if I was going long on Apple. But like I said, it's just surprising me that we've come down that far in such a short amount of time. And so that's what I would be looking for tomorrow, guys, is risking right here, seeing a potential pop, maybe a bounce on the 117.80, but really I expect it to now act as resistance as we sort of get down here to the 113, 114 level. And then I expect Apple to start making some higher highs and higher lows. And, we'll see that pattern, I think, on a lot of stocks, okay, that people are exiting. Tesla, no different. Same thing as it tried to sort of make this pop in the morning. It went up to about 620 here and then just sort of faded down. And so we've seen that day in and day out as these stocks are just sort of coming up and then they're fading off. And so we had this gap down, and we sort of recovered that this morning, which I thought was interesting. But it was definitely a sign of where the market wanted to go. Okay, so it gapped down, meaning that when the market opened, it basically gapped down and saying that, hey, we want to trade lower. And we even though we covered it and we gap filled from Friday, we clearly wanted to trade down. And so same thing here, guys. I would expect, risking potentially, as much as I said I didn't see it a week ago, we're only like $80-90 away from the 200-day now. And so don't be surprised if you see Tesla in the high fours. Great buy. I mean, I think anything in this level is just an absolute steal. But I wouldn't want to just blindly start adding shares without some type of confirmation. And again, if you look at all of these daily candles, guys, nothing in here shows us that the end is near, or that the end of the bearish trend is near. Okay, and same thing with Palantir. It's one of those stocks where, we always talk about doing covered calls and buying and just sort of if you're bag holding. And you can see that this level that, 2250 has been solid. We've bounced off of it. We've sort of consolidated on a very tight range on Palantir, which is a good thing. But same thing, it's fading along with the market. Okay, so clearly, this 2550 is still an upper resistance for the first level. And, you can see that we've been holding this sort of tight range between 22 up to 25 for the last week. And so until we can get above 25 and close above it, I still see us trading sideways. We got down here on Friday down to 20, which was an absolute steal for a stock that was trading at $45 a month ago. And so, guys, there's a lot of news on Palantir, a lot of new contracts, and there's also potential in terms of the options plays, a lot of calls being bought up, for up in the 30s and 40s. And so, just hang in there. I've been mentioning, in a lot of the videos, just hanging, sitting on your hands and just watching the market, watching the price action. I'm watching the market as if I'm still day trading all day. And I've really, like I mentioned the last week, I've been really trying to stay as away from longs, mainly because of where the market's clearly going, which it's been downtrending. And so until I get confirmation, right, I don't want to be adding to additional possible swing positions, because then all you're doing is you're buying, and then you essentially at one point will just get, either run out of cash, or if you're in a margin account, run out of margin. And then what happens? You're forced to sell. Okay, and so you never want to be put in that position. So just sit on your hands, watch the price action, and watch these levels. And like we mentioned, as we break these levels and we hold above them, now we can potentially looking at a sort of a swing reversal. And then, of course, where's your price target? So make sure you also have a plan in terms of where you'd like to sell these shares. Okay, so again, absolute steal in this range. I'm an extreme heavy bullish buyer for Palantir. The RSI, we're clearly on the oversold side, and of course we talked about the momentum is flattening out. And so I think there's just, again, just general market conditions is what's going on, and just give it some time and we'll be getting back up in the 30s in no time. You can see here the 50-day average is right under $29. And so you can see that, once we get up here, we'll get back up in no time for the next leg up through this consolidation that we've done, for quite a while, really, since back here in November. So I'm not worried about it. Clover, same thing. I was really hopeful. We had identified a 825 resistance level, 815. And I really thought that we were going to break that today. And so yesterday we talked about the 815. We hit that twice today. Clearly it's a strong resistance. And again, we just faded the market. Okay, so this is the level that I think we're ready to break when we do have that bullish day. And this stock, like all the other stocks, just followed the same pattern. And so really, it wanting, hitting, let's say 4 or 5 times now, I think it's ready to break. And I can definitely see us this week, getting over 815. And then, like I mentioned yesterday's video, that my price target is to sell and right here, going into 1050. Okay, and of course that's a swing position. So if you're trying to day trade, unless Clover has some really big news that's going to really push the stock, this will definitely indicate a trend reversal. And same thing here, guys. You can see we've had some consolidation in the 7s, but we haven't seen that engulfing candle to show us that there may be a trend reversal. Okay, so there's nothing here confirmed, but just based on this chart, I have a pretty good feeling that 815 is a strong resistance, and we'll get there. Okay, and look how tight of a range we traded today at 815, low of 730, so about 80-90 cents. And so you could tell that we have a pretty good bottom here. Okay, and then my sort of bonus stock for the day, guys, just surprising out of all the winners is we've had this sort of breakout pattern, and we still have this fill here similar to GameStop that I'm looking for at 1250. And so I am holding AMC. I still have my shares and I still weekly covered calls. And so it'd be interesting to see if this thing breaks out similar and we get up here this week around 1253 is what I would be looking at for the breakout trade for AMC. So just for you guys in that trade, just wondering what your thoughts are, if you have any price targets on AMC, or if you're just maybe long holding AMC. But clearly that's to me where I'd like to get involved. There's been some resistance here right around the mid 9s, but I'm not worried about it. This is a momentum stock and it won't take much to get it back up there, similar to what we did about a week ago. Okay, so that's where I'm looking for, and I was looking for it here. It didn't come, but this is where I'm expecting, right? Is about the 1250 fill potentially this week, and I'll be, selling. I've already sold my call, so if they get called away, it's all good. Free up some cash to go buy something else. All right, guys, with that said, that's our daily recap. If you have any questions or comments, if you did just enjoy this video as well, please do hit the like and subscribe button. And with that said, guys, best of luck as always, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.